You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
Hey everybody, aloha and welcome to episode 29 of the TikiCast. This is where all you Disney fans can get your tiki adventure, piratey, just all around good time, fun, interactions and everything. That was a terrible segue, terrible introduction, but I'm just going to stick with it. Why not? I am one of your co-hosts, Joey, and joining me, as always, is my awesome, talented
It's me, Teeny Tao. Hello.
How's it going? It's been a while.
I'm good. Has it? I guess I get lost in my days. I'm so excited for our guest today, though.
Oh, I know. We got an awesome guest. We got filming in production, documentaries. I guess is that the correct term? I'm totally terrible, but we got.
We're learning. It's
the
great.
Filmmakers that are putting together Talking Tiki. If you've been at any tiki event throughout the year, you probably saw them, and they're here with us this evening. So would you mind introducing yourselves? I guess we'll go from...
We have a party.
Right.
It's great.
Yes. Tiki party.
Are we going left to right? Is that me?
Yeah, sure. We'll start with you, Chris. And I just introduced you, so my bad.
My name is Chris Wooten. I am the creative producer on this project. I was brought on by these other folks. They'll tell you more details about that. But I'm kind of responsible for a lot of the visuals that are in our Kickstarter and occasionally some visuals while we're out shooting. And I handle occasional BCam and audio and whatever else we need at the time, and a lot of behind the scenes photos, and just trying to capture some of the visuals for the event as well.
Awesome. Well, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
I'll go next. So my name is Casey Beck, and I am one of the co-directors of Talking Tiki.
I'm Asali. I'm the other co-director. And here is...
Do you guys want to talk a little bit about your...
Well, I'm sure we'll get into that. Casey and I... Well, actually, Chris, Casey, and I have all known each other for quite a long time. We've actually worked on other smaller projects together. And we'll tell you more about the origin of the film, I'm sure, during the course of the podcast. But Alex is also here.
Yeah, and I'm a producer on Talking Tiki, which basically means I get to act important and go to tiki bars with the team.
Awesome. I'm jealous of that. So, well, welcome all. Yeah, we'll get to the conversation and hearing about the documentary coming up real soon. We're just going to do some quick what we call mousekeeping. As you guys know, we are now part of the Walt's Apartment podcast feed. So check out all new episodes on that, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. I have not really been much tiki adventuring lately. I will be doing it this weekend at our local tiki bar, the Jungle Bird. It is their Sippin' Santa tiki takeovers, always fun time. So I will be there Sunday, the 10th, probably a little bit after. I'll probably be there a little bit after 5. So if you guys are in the area, you want to hang out, come say hi. I might have a few exclusive Swizzle sticks left over. Before I needed to order some new ones, so we'll get that. But that's all I really got going on. Last episode we talked about hanging out at Broken Compass. Unfortunately, I was unable to do that, but of course, Cal was able to. So if you want to talk about that real quick and the friends you saw.
Oh, well, it was really fun, except the whole party turned into oh no, Joey's not here, and then we all left early. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to guilt trip you. But so at Broken Compass, they started opening on Sundays now. And most of the time, it looks like they're bringing guest bartenders in, and we had to go because it was, what's it? What are they called? Skippers? Traders? No. Trader Christian?
Yes.
Skippers. Okay. You can tell I don't drink out there a lot. Skipper Christian and Skipper Roy, who I think most people know them from Trader Sam's. But it was my first time having drinks made by either one of them. And there were a lot of random people there. Shout out to Alexis and Christopher Els, and also, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on their name, but I'll shout out to them later when I remember. But there were so many great people there, and it was fun. I finally got a Roy's on purpose, which is what our friends on the other another podcast, they keep talking about it, and it took me like 3 drinks in to like realize, oh my gosh, you're Roy, and he's like, yeah, and I was like a Roy's on purpose, and I had to order it there. But
you got it.
Fun.
Yeah,
Joey, you were missed. Very missed.
Oh. Well, that's awesome, and that was a great way for them to kick off being open on Sundays now. So check that out, Broken Compass in Burbank. But a few more things to announce. It is Christmas season, and we have some. Luckily, we have some very musical friends, including Teeny Tal herself. So if you'd like to pass out, I know you got some shows coming up, and also one of our friends coming up.
So many shows. So I try and pull my calendar together. This weekend itself, I am playing Saturday night at the Waterside in Channel Islands Harbor in Oxnard. It's also part of the Parade of Lights, so that's going to be fun. Super busy, so come out early. And I think the rest of my gigs are like private parties and stuff, so sorry.
Well, if you're lucky enough.
Yacht club, so that'd be fun, you know. Friday night's a yacht club too, but I don't know. I can just sneak you in. I probably get a +1 somewhere.
Awesome. And I just sent you our friend's schedule coming up because I forgot to do that earlier. So
for Trevor, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm excited. Our friend Trevor Kelly, he is in Anaheim based, a crooner like Frank Sinatra. And every month, I think it's like once a month now, he does his Twitch show, but he's got some shows coming up. He actually has a show tonight, so we'll skip that. But on Sunday, he's going to be playing at Club 616. On the 16th, he's going to be at Everywhere Beer in Orange. I might go to that one, so if people are listening, you might see me there. I might also be at the 1221 show at Windsor Browns in Anaheim.
Very cool. And check out their latest episode, The Jungle with Dr. Skipper Marley. Always fun stuff. Cracks me up all the time. And check out Trevor's album on Spotify and Apple Music. A Merry TK Christmas. It's a nice little LP, like Tal said, like very crooner style. But check that out. So tell them we said, hey, what's up? And got good stuff for Christmas. But let's get to our guests. We're really excited. I think I reached out, or either I reached out or somebody reached out. I can't remember, but back at Tiki Oasis, and I was unfortunately unable to go again, but luckily Teeny Tal was able to go. But
was I really there? I feel like I was partying half the time.
Yeah. That's how you
I was doing
research.
I was researching half the time.
If you remember, you weren't really there, I guess is what they say. But back to our guests, we'd love to hear about your guys. What got you into Tiki itself and inspired you to make this awesome documentary coming up.
Like, who started it? Who came up with the idea first, and then who's the big Tiki person?
So I think it probably the original instigation was Alex. A long time ago. You want to talk a little about that?
Yeah. So I'm not a bartender by profession, but I do a lot of home bartending. I like, hosting people, having cocktail parties. And we started running this series of Tiki pop-ups at our house, maybe starting 10 years ago. And I got really into the cocktails, really into researching, how do you make a perfect Mai Tai, a perfect Navy grog? And that sort of morphed into, you can speak about our little home tiki bar project.
Right. So we live in the Bay Area and housing's really expensive up here. So we ended up buying a fourplex with some of our friends so that we all could go in on the cost together. And
that's amazing.
Each have our own apartment building. But when we bought this fourplex, there was also a bonus unit. It was a converted garage space that the sleazy realtor tried to tell us would be a great thing to rent out or Airbnb. But we said, we don't want to do that. We're just going to turn it into a fun party area or place to hang out. And then we were like, how should we decorate it? And everyone immediately was like, let's make a tiki bar, because we'd already been doing these tiki pop-ups. And so, it was kind of a natural fit. And it's also a garage, so it's sort of dark and windowless and like the perfect space for tiki.
Half the job is done already. So.
Yeah.
Yep. So then as we started to get into the tiki bar thing, we were doing a lot of research. We were going down all these different internet rabbit holes, figuring out how to do this. And we actually, one day, Alex and I were driving to LA and we were having this really long conversation about tiki. And I was like, I'm a little nervous about making a tiki bar. It's maybe it was 2020, 2019. I don't know. Tiki has a very interesting history, but there's also this legacy of appropriation that we are kind of nervous at. Like, we don't want to make something that's going to make anyone feel uncomfortable or make any of our friends turned off, So we started researching that too. And I was like, oh my gosh, people are really thinking about this. People are talking about this. There's already so many cool new bars and bartenders who are thinking about these questions and doing interesting things with this legacy. And Alex also told me a lot about the history of tiki and Don the Beachcomber. And I was like, this is such a good story. I'd love to make a documentary about this, but I have too many projects. I don't live anywhere near any of this stuff, whatever. So that idea was just tabled in my brain until I went to New Orleans and was talking to Casey.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I think Asali and Alex came to New Orleans with they did not come to pitch me, but when they were here, I got a very hard pitch about this.
After a few drinks,
yeah, we have to do this. This is going to be amazing. And by the way, the godfather of modern tiki is in New Orleans. Like, you have to interview him, and like, it'll be so easy. You just, it'll be so easy. And I'm like, okay, independent documentaries are never easy. Yeah. But I have to say, tiki is very different in that it is. So I interviewed Jeff. Asali zoomed in. And from there, the door was kind of like kicked open, because he was like, okay, you got to interview this person, this person, this person, this person, like just a list of people. And from there is when we actually were like, okay, we need more help. Like, we need to bring in Chris. So at that point, the team grew by one more in order to really like make a go at this. And then, so we interviewed Jeff just over a year ago. And then, so for the past year, right now it's been entirely self-funded. We've just been kind of going to places that we thought were interesting. I mean, Asali, you said like you don't live anywhere near this, but
turns out I do. Yeah.
Yeah. The Bay Area has quite a few storied and new tiki bars. So yeah, and we're gonna keep filming next year too. So we're really excited.
Awesome. And I'm just kind of jumping in real quick. Yeah, me and my co-host Alex from my other podcast, we actually did something we had planned before COVID started, but was a San Francisco tiki crawl.
Nice.
And,
cool.
and we did do that this last June, summertime. And we went to 3 tiki bars. We went to Zombie Village, Smuggler's Cove, and Last Rites.
Nice.
And then the following day was we're big Giants fans naturally, so the next day was at the Giants game. They had tiki mug giveaways of the commentators, Crook and Kite. So we made a whole weekend out of it. We're doing it again. We'll let you guys know for sure.
Cool.
And,
Awesome.
and then New Orleans, latitude 42?
29.
That's one of my big ones I wanted to go to. New Orleans is one of my favorite cities I've ever visited. And that was one of my destinations. Again, I was making plans to go there the year before COVID. So hopefully we'll get back over there. But
You're overdue.
very much.
And then,
okay.
I was gonna. Were you?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So I just wanted to add. I'm really excited for this movie, especially for people like in my world who don't know anything about tiki. I love that Beach Bum Berry's in it, and it's like I just realized the book's right in front of me, his grog log book. But it was just funny to me because it's like I've always liked tiki. It's been about like 10 years. I've always just liked that aesthetic, but only recently have I actually got into it, like the details, the history. And I just want to point out, I didn't even know that Jeff Berry was alive. I thought he was like a Don the Beachcomber guy, like from a long time ago. I had no idea until like probably a few months ago. Someone was just like, "Oh, Beach Bum Berry's in town," and I was like, "Excuse me?" I was like, I had no idea. So I feel like this film would be a great way for just like the resurgence. I feel like it's a new wave of Tiki. To really summarize this for like people now.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the
Sorry,
audience.
Jeff.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, Jeff. You're totally alive. I think I finally ran into him too. And I was like, oh, okay. Sorry. But the audience, yes.
No, it is. I think in a way the film it's for Tiki people already, but I think really it's for people who don't really know how fun this world is. And
how vibrant and how like, it's not just history. Like we are like Tiki is breaking new ground right now in the present. And all these people are very much alive and like very much, exploring new directions for Tiki.
Yeah. And I didn't, when I jumped in, I didn't mean to cut off Chris. I just want to hear like what your thoughts are when you were asked to join the project and add to what they had going on.
Well, I have to say, when I joined, it was a little bit more amorphous. I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to be doing. I was just happy to be a part of it. I've worked on things with Casey and with Asali before, and it's always turned out great. We've had a good time working together. Our products have come out looking and sounding great. So why not? Why not do it? They were kind enough to come and help on a project for that I was working on in Japan. So I more than owed them one. So I was happy to be on board.
Very
so
cool.
Chris, did you have any history or like what was your connection with Tiki before this, or was it minimal?
I am old enough to have been going to Tiki bars before they were on the decline.
Okay.
So yeah, I was going to Tiki bars a long time ago, and I didn't. I honestly have gotten kind of out of the game for a little while. Had kids, got married, had kids, and moved away, and wasn't really in the Tiki circuit. And I didn't know that it had faded as much as it had, and had come into this resurgence that we're in right now. So it's kind of really exciting to see something that I was into at one time. To me, it felt like it never left because I was on a hiatus. I didn't realize that they were as well. They left with me, but they came back too. So it's perfect. Good timing for me.
Impeccable timing, Chris. Impeccable.
And Casey, same question for you. What was your connection with Tiki before?
I'm embarrassed to say, when Asali and Alex came to New Orleans and told me, you have this amazing bar in your backyard and this kind of, like historian and keeper of Tiki, I had no idea. I was kind of like, okay, Asali and Alex are like making a Tiki bar. Like, who does that? And then I have learned over the past year, a lot of people do that. So we're kind of this like great mix from the connoisseurs, who are doing this all the time. To Chris, probably somewhere in the middle. To me, probably like the least knowledgeable about Tiki.
I was going to say that's perfect. I think it's just like you have Sally and Alex who are like active in it. Chris who like knows the background and has that history of it. And then Casey, it's like you're a fresh new vision into it. And I feel like having that insight would help. Like my friends, I can just be like, you know what? Watch this movie with me and we'll have fun and you'll see why I love it so much. So I think you guys are a perfect team.
Oh yeah. And the way you guys are, the way you guys are in search, not like just even for like the Tiki community and how it's spread out so wide, but then it still feels, we talked about this with the folks at Tune In Tiki, but how small it still really is because you guys been doing really cool Instagram lives and having friends of the show that we've had on the show, like as of last night, Damien is a previous guest and new friend. Tao hung out at his Tiki bar, so it's cool.
I was totally trying to like be cheesy in the comments too, and I was like, wow, this is like a really good looking live stream you guys have going on. I don't know if you saw my comment because then I had to like I was like, oh, I have to keep running errands, but I was like, I have to say that at least, I open up my phone and it's like, oh, these great people. But yeah, you've been having great guests on, as Joey was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a really small world. We've been struck by that constantly. Like, we'll interview someone and they'll be like, oh my gosh, you have to talk to my friend, blah, blah, blah. And guess what? 10 other people have already told us to talk to this person. And so, I mean, it's like a web that's not quite actually that big. I feel like if there's 6 degrees of separation in regular life, there's like 2 in the tiki world.
Yeah,
that's true.
And obviously doing this documentary, I got my questions written down, and these are actually 2 questions mixed into one, but it's taking you to many different places around the country, possibly, and you're also getting some very interesting guests and stories. Do you have any favorite locations, any favorite guests that you can share with us?
Great question.
Don't feel pressured to be like the absolute favorite, but like what's 1 or 2 good stories? Nobody else will get jealous if you mention someone and not someone else.
I'll just say someone asked, like, especially as the new person, they're like, oh, what's been your favorite tiki drink? And I don't honestly even know, because we go to these bars, we talk to the bartenders, and they will just like make us these delicious drinks, and it's not even like we're ordering off of the menu necessarily. It's just kind of like, oh, here, try this. And you're like, wow, that's the best thing I've ever tasted. But like, I don't even know how to order it because it's something that they just created on the spot. It's like that generous of their like time and knowledge. And yeah, so, and that's happened a couple different times for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. The generosity has been amazing coming from some of these people that we've met. And I honestly kind of jumped into this a little bit blind, not knowing how deep of a rabbit hole it was. And when we got to Vato Sutiki, are you guys, I'm sure you're familiar with them, right? You're
I'll see them tomorrow.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing them tomorrow. Perfect. Please tell them we said hi, please. When we met with them, and they just kind of invited us in like they had known us forever, and they were so comfortable with us, and we were immediately comfortable with them because of that. That was just awesome, being in that space that's so well made and so different from any other place that we've been, and equally on par with any commercial place that we'd been to. So just absolutely, I was blown away with that level of detail and effort coming from those guys, and artistry. And the drinks were not bad at all. I'm understating, but yeah, they were great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
Oh no, I just said very cool. So.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's really hard to say. It's all been wonderful. I mean, one interview that I think really stands out to me was Christine from Ricky Tat Tiki. And I mean, her just story of getting into Tiki, I find so inspiring. And I don't want to spoil anything too much.
No spoiler alert. We have to wait for the film for that story.
We won't actually say what it is, but I think she's just one of the most genuine people I've ever met. And like her love of Tiki art and the community was just like infectious. And I don't know, I just left that interview feeling very warm and fuzzy, and it was just great. So
that's fantastic. I don't know
Christine.
Yeah,
she's a ceramicist in San Diego, and she was selling at Tiki Oasis. She sells on Instagram. If you have not,
sounds familiar, but yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out her stuff, it's really beautiful, really unique. It's the mugs are inspired by drinks, but they're like unique. Unique is the word. Yeah, I mean, she's a true artist in that, like, she's hand carving these mugs.
Now, you mentioned like art and everything. Is this documentary like focused more on the drinks, the bartenders, or do you also like branch out into and talk to artists and stuff? Like, I know a lot of the characters listed on the Kickstarter are like, I know them from drinking buddies, but there's also like a lot of, like, when you go to a big event like Tiki Oasis and there's vendors like selling their art and their carvings and stuff. So how much focus and how much focus of the film is on the bartenders and drinks as opposed to everything else?
It's everything.
Okay.
I mean, I would say we're trying to take a pretty comprehensive look. I don't know if anyone else wants to jump in, but it's all of the above, because Tiki is all of the above. Like, it's not just one thing or the other. And there have been documentaries that have taken like a more strict focus on the art or on the drinks or on, the space, whatever it is. And ours is kind of an exploration of what is Tiki today.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. Yeah, my mom will love that because she's always just like, you just go out and drink all the time. I'm like, that's not what it's about. Especially because like I'm not that big of a drinker, but you wouldn't know that if you just see me only at tiki bars. It's like if I'm not at a tiki bar, I'm really not drinking. But it's like I hang out with this whole community because it's not just hanging out and just drinking. It's so I love going to Tiki Tea because like some of the people in the documentary so far, you'll see them there and somebody will bring in a mask and be like, do you know anything about this? And one of the regulars will be like, oh, that looks like a Papua New Guinea mask. And they like talk about the history. It's so much more than just drinking. Like you have people who really have a good appreciation for everything.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, and there's plenty of people in the tiki world who don't drink at all, or it's not, there's so many ways to be part of it that aren't even about alcohol. I think it's far bigger than that. So, yeah.
And even in tiki bars, it feels like now there's such a trend. And I know Kontiki in Oakland is great at this, of like no ABV and low ABV tiki drinks on the menus, like just all part of like, making everybody feel included in these spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at the same time, even going to the the drink part of it, but there's a lot of artistry in the drinks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of like we talked about him earlier, but Skipper Christian, he's like, so many people order like just what's on the menu, but so many bartenders and especially skippers like at Disney, they're well trained and like masters of their universe, and they can make anything you want. And one thing that throws me off is we all love tiki mugs and everything, but like one time I was at Frankie's in Vegas and I forgot what I had, but it was delicious. And I wanted to get in another one, but I got it in just the regular glass. And I'm like, oh my God, the cup, this drink itself is so beautiful that I didn't even see in this brown tiki mug. It's just this perfect blue and green and turquoise. But I mean, it is an artistry, not just tiki art, but in the drink itself. So, I mean,
it's like levels and levels of art. And we had a great interview with Christine where she kind of goes into it a little, where she's like, the tiki mug is a work of art, and like the decor is a work of art, and like the drink that the bartender is making is a work of art. And even the rum that goes into it, that's like, it's an artisanal spirit. Like it's also artistry went into making that. It's like literally like everything, just like a pure artistic experience on every level.
Not to mention the music that you're listening to.
Yeah, and I was going to say, when you go to like Tiki Oasis or hang out the Rockabillys in LA, then it's also the people are works of art,
Yeah, the hair pieces,
the hair, the dress, like the whole thing is really.
Yeah.
I was going to wear this, but I was like, I have headphones.
It's beautiful.
It doesn't work with my headphones. For the audio listeners, I had a big giant hairpiece I was going to wear specifically for this, but it's like, it doesn't work with my headphones. So
I was like, is that magnetic? It's just like, just stuck right there. That's awesome.
You need modified headphones, so you've already got it on there.
Like me, I would just need a suction cup.
Slip it right on. Every time.
I need headphones, exactly.
And I feel like going back to what you said about the drinks, I think you're absolutely right. I feel like that part of it is a living, of course, the presentation on each of the people as they come dressed up in whichever style of tiki or whichever style that's tiki adjacent that they come that's a living art. The drink itself, that's a living art. It's something that's consumable and it's gone once you've had it, right? But in that moment, it's alive, right? And it's participatory between you and the person who's making it. And it's all part of you enjoying that space. And it's wonderful.
Yeah. And even the food, the menu, I mean, the way a lot of the dishes you get are presented to you, again, works of art, culinary art. And one thing I always bring up the Jungle Bird here in Sacramento, but like every once a month, especially from spring to summer, they always have what they call their traveling series. And they'll like one night or on a Wednesday a month, they'll be like specifically focus on like Fiji, and they'll have drinks and food. Then 1 month will be the Philippines, and then Haiti and New Orleans even. So
Cool.
just like I said,
Cool.
art is everywhere. It's either edible, drinkable, or visual. So, and hearable.
Audible. Yes. Yeah, you got it.
So, and I started that question originally with travel. So like, how many miles have you guys covered since you started?
Good question. Well, we haven't gone as many places as we want to go. We spent a lot of time in California, both the Bay Area and LA and San Diego. We've been to New Orleans and Salt Lake City, which is where one of our main characters is working on a really cool tiki bar or tropical bar. But part of the reason we're doing this Kickstarter and trying to basically fundraise is to be able to go to a little further afield, go to Hawaii, go to the East Coast, go to Indianapolis. There's some great spaces and really interesting people we're hoping to be able to talk to over there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we met a lot of people at Tiki Oasis and in other places that have really been drawing our attention to a lot of tiki spaces that some of them we were a little bit aware of, but they really kind of shined a light on some spots that we really should be hitting.
Yep.
Nice. And you guys are going from like normal, or I don't say normal, but like traditional tiki bars and home tiki bars, correct?
Yeah, and we're really focusing on sort of tiki bars that are thinking about the genre in new and interesting ways, and sort of maybe not moving in a new direction, but I don't know, just like sort of reinventing tiki for the now, for the present moment.
Right. Like, I feel like Last Rites, which you mentioned on your bar crawl, I feel like it's a really great example where they don't even call themselves a tiki bar. They're like an adventure bar. It's like Aloha also means goodbye.
Yeah,
like,
and it was my favorite one that I went to out of the three. So
yeah, that's an awesome
fantastic
place.
Yeah.
We actually interviewed those folks and had a great time at Last Rites.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to see that also. And you mentioned your Kickstarter. Can you tell us what you guys like, how that campaign is going? I was personally watching the video today. I'm like, okay, I'm going to pledge as soon as I can, but if you let our listeners know exactly what's going on with that.
Sure. Casey, you want to take it away?
Sure. So we are fundraising currently on Kickstarter to raise money just for exactly what Asali and Alex were saying, and Chris, as far as travel to go to these places that we have been suggested to us again and again, and some little hole in the wall places that we're interested in as well. So that's a big part of what we're trying to do. And then we want to get started on post. So we're trying, up until this point, the last year, this has been entirely self-funded. So it's basically Asali and Chris driving to LA or to San Diego,
sleeping on friends' couches, begging for,
yeah. And like, if one of us can't take the time off work or can't afford to go, they'll zoom into the interview. Like Asali and Chris just interviewed Baby Doe and Otto, and I couldn't make it out there to California. So, we've been doing that and we've been getting by, but we really feel like the documentary deserves more. We've shot enough now to be like, we want to do this right. We want to make this really beautiful. So that Tal can watch with her mom, and have a movie night. Yeah. So we are getting up there. We have still 2 weeks left to go, but we still have another 30,000 that we are trying to raise. So we are really hoping that, the Tiki community and Tiki adjacent community feel as feel that this documentary is as important as we do, and really want to see it made.
Oh, very cool. I know I'm kind of speaking for both of us here, but we got a little voice, a very tiny little soapbox, but we'll share as much as we can, boost the signal.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I always tell people my three followers.
Oh, you
have like 3 more backers with my 3 followers, so it's perfect.
And you never know who it's going to resonate with.
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely true. It's like you share it with anyone. Joey said we have a small soapbox that we stand on, but it's still like we want everyone and anyone to know, because it's such a great project you have. And like, get the rewards, and I'm like, oh, I love these, and the add-ons, that interactive mug. Tell us more.
Yeah, so that's actually this Christine, who I mentioned earlier, Ricky Tat Tiki, the ceramicist in San Diego. And I mean, this drawing doesn't even do the mug justice. You should all really just go look at her.
It already looks cool, because it's like with is it a talk bubble?
So yeah, basically the concept we gave Christine was, the film's about dialogue. It's about talking. It's about conversation.
I get it.
Yeah.
It is right now.
The light bulb. Yeah. And we love birds. Birds are cool. Birds are fun and tropical. And so Christine just came up with this idea. And I think she said, I think this is the first ever tiki mug with a speech bubble that you can write on. You can write on it with like a whiteboard marker and expo, and you can write whatever you want. Like if you're actually at a bar, you can like write your drink order and give it to the bartender. You could write something cheeky just to start a conversation.
Or even if you like just have it, in your little tiki shelf of mugs on your wall, you can have it, the name of your home tiki bar on it. You can
if lost, return to.
Yes.
I hope it doesn't get smudged.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's a really fun design, and I can't wait to see what it really looks like when it has all the beautiful details and embellishments that Christine adds to all her work. So yeah.
There are a couple other really fun rewards that we have yet to have a backer jump on, but I think they're really cool. One, if you love the graphic design of the Kickstarter, of our website, of kind of our overall look, that is 100% Chris. I mean, he is a visual genius, and he has graciously offered his skills to make a sign for your bar, for your room, for your house, for whatever it is, your bedroom wall, your office, and that I forget what we call that tier.
The trader tier.
The trader tier, yes. So that's something that I think is really cool, and I'm hoping that some people take advantage of that, because as I said, Chris is a creative genius. Like it will, whatever he makes you will be really, really great.
And
if you already looks fantastic, so
yeah. And Chris will draw a tiki caricature of you, which is an add-on that you can add on to any reward level. Which is,
so you can see he tiki-fied us. That's where we got this idea, is that all of a sudden, like one day he's sending out these caricatures of us as little filmmaker tiki people. And we were like, oh my God, they're so cute. We have to give the people access to these caricatures.
That is awesome. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And lots of other great rewards. I mean, check it out. We got swizzle sticks, we got umbrellas, we got posters, t-shirts, and mostly you're just going to be part of the team. You're going to be part of the film. You'll get a shout out in the credits. We're hoping to build community with this, and, have a nice, happy family of Talking Tiki folks who want to see this film get made.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like when I first saw it over the summer, spring, I was like, oh, that's, I knew I wanted to talk to you guys, and I definitely wanted to watch this, and, even the chance to be a part of it, in any kind of way is pretty amazing. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to jump on one of those tiers when I can. And I guess, in closing, I don't know if Cal has some more questions, but I have one more. Is it a goal to maybe debut or premiere the finished film at a Tiki Oasis or a special kind of event?
Absolutely. I think that would be the dream. And actually, I was just talking to Baby Doe and Otto about that on Friday, and they seemed pretty excited about it. So I think that would be absolutely likely. There's a lot of Tiki events that we could screen the film at. We do want to get it out to the Tiki community, and we also want to share it with the wider world and other film festivals, even worldwide film festivals, to kind of, just get this whole movement out there.
That's awesome. And it'll happen. I know it for sure. So, and so, I guess the final question, what you guys are hoping for a 2025 or what's the finished product date, I guess, or target?
Yeah. So we still have to shoot the first half of 2024. If all goes well, we would like to have a rough cut and probably a finishing fundraiser that we would screen the rough cut at somewhere in the Bay. So we will definitely let you both know whenever that happens. Ideally, like that's late 2024, and then we're rolling it out to the world in 2025.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very excited. So,
which actually 2025 is only a year away.
I know, right?
24 already. It sounds so distant, but it's, yeah.
It will be here before we know it.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I wish you guys the luck. I thank you very much for taking the time, especially since you guys are all spread out to talk with us. If there's anything else you'd like to add, feel free to throw that out.
Oh yeah, plug the Instagram, the website, the Kickstarter, everything. Are you on Facebook and all the other social media?
Oh yeah, so not so much on Facebook, but we're on Instagram at Talking Tiki Film. Our website is talkingtikifilm.com.
And actually, both of those would link up to the Kickstarter as well, so you can
and actually, we have a young person who just made a TikTok for us. So we're actually on TikTok at Talking Tiki Film as well. We're all a little older than you should be to be doing social media well. So we're very
grateful for the youth. Yeah.
Oh yes. The future.
Yeah. The future of Tiki, right? And us all.
But yeah, we're super excited to be part of this community, and thank you so much for chatting with us. It's been really fun, and we often come up to Sacramento, Joey. So
I actually love the Jungle Bird, and I'm hopeful that we'll get to go there at some point in the next few weeks.
Let me know.
Yeah.
And when you're in LA, please visit me. I'll drive out. I'm in Ventura County too.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Actually, I'm in Ventura County.
We're there all the time. My parents live in Ventura County. So.
Oh, well, hey. Yeah.
And we might have an upcoming event. We might be at an upcoming event at Tiki Tea. So we will let you know about that.
Perfect. Yeah, because
we're all planning to be in LA in early January for a shoot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys for coming on. You definitely, I always say this, once you're on the show, instant friends, instant ohana. So you always got an open door. Maybe you talk about the finished film here in the near future. And,
that's the dream.
Yes.
Yeah, and we'll be sharing as much as we can to get this Kickstarter going and all that good stuff.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's do our picture.
Oh, sure. I don't know if I can.
Smile. Cool, got it.
All right.
I probably blinked.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Everyone's face is going to be like this big, so.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But
it was really an honor, you guys.
Yeah,
like we feel
so much fun.
So appreciative of your willingness to have us. It's though your platform is like perfect for what we are trying to do, which is get the word out to Tiki people. So thank you.
Yeah,
absolutely. And to our listeners, definitely give them a follow, give them a backing. If you're at your local Tiki bar, you see that they're in the area, show up. smile.
Yeah, come say hi. We love if you see us out with a camera filming, come say hi. We'd love to meet you.
We often are wearing bright turquoise shirts that say Talking Tiki.
We are hard to miss.
Nice.
You know it's us.
That's awesome. So yeah, definitely say hi, and thank you guys for listening, and hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes, we will see you next year.
Thank you so much.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Here comes Santa in the red canoe, paddling on a magic sea of blue, with a stocking full of joy for every girl and boy. Here comes Santa in the red canoe. Now he's coming, got his eyes on you. Jolly old Santa with a heart so true, and a wicky wicky smile for a happy hula isle. Here comes Santa in a red canoe. It's Mele Kalikimaka land on the Mele beach, white as snow. And understand, Santa Claus is on the go, 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 go. Here comes Santa in a red canoe, paddling on the magic sea of blue, with the ho-ho molly molly, Merry Christmas to you. Here comes Santa in a red canoe. It's Christmas in